Welcome back to my channel. I'm Adeline with adejuansartdolls. If you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. I'm doing a series on how I use golden air dry paints to paint my reborns. So hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my videos. Also, like my videos and share my videos. In this part, and this is part 4 of the series, if you want to follow me to learn how to use your golden paints, uh, 1 through 3 is already uploaded. In this video, I am going to do mottling. I have already done an arm and a leg. And this is what the mottling is going to look like once you are done mottling. This is what it's going to look like on this baby's skin. This is actually the beginning. And with the way it looks, I know it looks funny, but with the way it looks, it's going to be really pretty under the skin. So now let's get started. We're going to start with the head. And what I do with my mottling, I mix up my colors. So in these jars here, this is 1, 2, and 3 mottling. I mix them up so that they'll already be ready. And all I got to do is just use them, because it's a hassle kind of doing it each time. Now, I use these brushes, these sponges, blending sponges. I use these, but I'm going to show you another way if you don't have these round. And these are blending sponges, and they're cut off evenly, and then you just take your tweezers and pluck out a nice little form on them. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to show you how I pluck this out. You don't want any edges, so you pluck out all around the edges. This surface just was too small for me. I wanted a bigger area. And then you go in and you pluck out in the middle. And this might be the wrong sponge too. It's a little bit spongy. The other one. And these are the difference in the sponges. These have been hydrated. And these are what they are before they're hydrated. This one is this one. And that one is that one. And that's what they look like before they're hydrated. I'm just going to go ahead and pluck this out. Like I said, I might just to show you guys what you do with this mottling sponge. Now I use my number 1 mottling because all 3 of these will go on to the baby. But I do all my limbs with one color before moving on. Sorry. Sorry, girl. Before moving on to the next color, I do all that because I don't want to have to come back to this color no more. Now, the only thing about this is when you are modeling with these kind of sponges, you need one for each color. I don't have one for each color, but see when I put that on top there, you see what it does? And then what you need to do, let me get my top here, is you need to dab it off and dab off some of it. And then you need to start. And you go up and down, round and round, up and down, all around. When you don't see it dabbing anymore, then you refill your sponge. But this is what you do. You have to have 3 of them. Since I have 3 colors, and don't forget to dab off that first layer of, because it's going to be too much actually on there. And you dab over the ears. Try not to leave too many blank spots, because you want to dab over all of it. You want to have all of it dabbed. I'm going to use the rest of my sponges over there for the rest of the sponges, because I'm not going to pluck another one. I plucked this one so I could show you, And some people don't do the face, but I've seen modeling on faces before, and so that's what I do. See, see, I forgot to blot it, but that's okay. It's okay. You see my mistakes, then you know not to make those. Well, you know what they look like when you make them anyway. Okay, and then good is on the head, because, like I told you, what's on the head don't really matter. Just red color. I block their lips a little bit too, not much. But I'm actually going to use this one to model the leg and the arms, since I'm using this one. And then I'll use my other ones for my other colors. This color really don't show up a whole lot, but this is what you call adding depth to your kit. This what makes the skin look like skin, okay? I even dab the feet. And tomorrow, it'll look really nice because it'll be already milled together like those are. Okay. Let's do the arm. And these little sponges, you don't have to throw them away, because if you intend on making babies, then you intend on doing modeling, and you're going to need these sponges, and they come in handy and you don't have to keep plucking them. You can just continue to use the ones that you've already plucked. Making a baby is a process, and it takes patience. So if you don't have those things to, if you don't have patience, don't even try this. Don't even try this, because it takes a lot of patience, and you will think this is not working, and then it'll come to pass. It'll be working. So what I do is I usually blot off what's on this sponge so it can dry out and I can use it again. And then if uh, sometimes I'll wash them out, but I'll just go ahead and throw that one in there to be washed. But these here, I don't wash them. I just leave them just like that. I blot them out so they can dry out, but I just leave them just like that. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Hopefully it will. It should be enough for all of the body. Now I'll just start with the back with the head. Because by the time, like I said, whatever you do to these babies, by the time you've done the last one, the first one is ready for the next phase. When you do the mottling on the face, you really want to try to do it when it's the paint is coming out lightly, because you don't really want to put dark mottling on the face. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that mottling on the face as light as possible, but you still want to be able to see that mottling. And like I said, this is the way I do it, not necessarily the way you're going to see somebody else do it, but I do advise you to look at somebody else, because my process might not be what you want to do or what you think you want to do, but you may see somebody else's process and it might be just what you want. So I suggest that you search on YouTube, um, painting Reborn dolls with air dry paint, so that you can, or if you're using heat set paint, whatever paint you're using, you need to search that out so that you can be able to see somebody else do something, or if even if you want to see another process, just search it out. It'll come right up to you. I have looked at, I don't know how many videos, and not only that, I have looked at a many. I have looked at some of the same ones over and over and over and over and over, just so I can get that gist. You know what I'm saying? I just is well, you look at so many and then you forget a step or two. So what I do is I just look at them and I look at them over and over. I'll follow somebody, honey, and I'll look at them over and over and over just so that I can make sure that I don't miss anything, any of their progress or process. So, no, I do have enough. I even have a little bit over. And don't forget to swirl your paints because they settle so quickly. Yep. See? And that's all she wrote on this modeling deal. That's what number 2 is. Now I just blot out. Let me see if I can. Let me see what that looks like on this side. Let me see if I can get some more paint over here on the side of her head. You kind of dupe seeing right there, but it'll be all right once she starts to once I start to stuff it, it's gonna be just fine. Okay, it'll be just fine. And like I said, you don't have to clean your brush out each time you're doing because the modeling is kind of like water colors, kind of. So and what color from the brush that you put in here, it's not gonna make no big deal of it. It's not gonna make a big deal at all. So you don't have to wash out your brush until you actually get finished with your whole thing of modeling. Now I just put some on the side. So I'm gonna start with this one, this leg, because I ended with the arm and I just put some on the side. So I'll start with this leg so that it'll come together on this leg here. When I first did this, I thought, oh my Lord, what did I do to this baby? Well, actually, my very first doll, um, I don't know if I did any modeling on him or not. I do have a video that shows my babies, and I think I pointed out the one that I did first, but he looked more human, and I think I did him like in 3 days, all against the principles of making a baby. Um, but I was just so anxious to get a baby out there that that's the reason why he didn't get no blushing, and we have to do blushing because blushing makes puts the rosiness in the on the skin. So but he didn't get blushing, and he didn't get a whole lot of things, but he is the he is the most human looking baby that I have. And everybody says that. They thought that was my grandchild. My friend, you gonna stop making soap and take care of your grandbaby? No. I had a couple of them say the same thing. Nope. I'm gonna make me some grandbabies. That's what I'm gonna do. My last silicone doll was very expensive. I saved a whole year for that baby. I, when I go out and I sell, I saved up my money and I got that baby, and I haven't quite bonded with her. About ready to sell her, but I'm gonna hold on to her for a little while. But I haven't really bonded with her because she just wasn't what I expected. I guess I had put too much into the person that was doing it, and so that wasn't what I got out of it. And I'm not calling no names because it's over with me. You know, I'm not that is what made me start to um, make babies, because I love dolls, and I decided that if I wanted any more reborn dolls or any more silicone, I'm not gonna do any more silicone dolls unless they're I can find a kit that's already painted and it's inexpensive. But um, I decided that I just wasn't going to continue to buy these dolls. They're going up higher and higher, and kicking out the little person. And just because you don't have $800 to $1,000 to buy a doll, that does not mean that you don't love dolls, and that does not mean that you cannot be in this doll community. So that's my purpose of doing both um, replica dolls and authentic dolls. That's my purpose of doing that. Some people who buy authentic only want to buy authentic, and some people don't really care, can buy, but need to do it, inexpensively. They can buy the replicas, the replica kits. Yeah, I hear artists talk about their expensive replica kits and how they cost so much and blah blah blah. And then well, it's got some pinholes here and it's got some bubbles over there. You know, I've not run into any pinholes on my kids, no, any bubbles. I've not run into anything. My kids are always good. They're always nice and clean. And you know, I just never have encountered some of the things that I hear about the kits um that are actually bought and you paid a lot of money for them. So this is what I'm talking about. They say these are counterfeit, but I don't really feel like they are counterfeit. They are replica. When I'm gonna tell you something, because if you buying um these expensive Louis Vuitton bags and all of these bag, they come from China. They come from China. Shh, but they came from China. Okay. And the only thing that is expensive is they sent them over to France to have the logos made. That's what you're paying for anyway. It's the logo. So when you're paying two, three, $4,000 for a purse, the purse was made in China. The logo was made in France. Look it up. So think about that. These things are not what they say they are. Nothing is in this world that I'm finding out. So why pay that expensive price when you can get it the way you get it? And that's all I gotta say on that subject. Now, we are still trying to get to this 100 so that I can give away um a, I'll say, a gift for your reborn baby. And if you don't have a reborn baby and you should win, you can always use it as a baby shower gift, because what is made for these reborns, what they wear, is the same thing that a baby wears. So you can always, use it for a baby. Um, I just need, people to subscribe so that we can reach this 100 and I can give it away, because only subscribers are the ones that's going to be in the giveaway. There's not going to be anybody who have not subscribed to my channel that will win a prize. It's going to be somebody who is a subscriber that will win um, a prize from me. And this is at 100. At 350, well, I say at 300, then we will do another gift. And then at 500, we will do a baby. And that's how it's going to go, guys. Then at 750, you get a prize, a smaller gift. At 1,000, you get a baby. That's how it goes. Babies are expensive to make. That's the reason why they are expensive to buy. It costs to make these babies. We're not we're not getting our supplies very cheap. That's the reason why they cost more, because they went up on the supplies. So when they go up on the supplies, well, guess what? We have to charge more for the baby. Simple as that. It's the way the world rumbles. That's the way everything goes. So I just want to say that if you want to get into this market, buy your things as little bit, as inexpensive as you can. Wherever you can find your things. I shop Amazon. I shop AliExpress. I shop Temu. I shop Shein. I shop the Dollar Tree. I shop wherever I can find my supplies inexpensive, because I know that some things I'm not going to be able to get inexpensive. It's going to be high. Like my hair is expensive. That mohair is expensive. And then sometimes I use human hair. Well, people, we know human hair is expensive. So, see, you just have to bargain shop when you are buying this stuff. And these pads right here, these are not, a lot of people use puppy pads. I don't use puppy pads. These are not puppy pads. These are people pads. These are what people that wet the bed or um have something going on that they need something to protect their mattress. These are what these are. A puppy pad has a chemical in it that causes the dog to want to urinate on the pad. Well, if I'm just like you saw me pouncing off the excess on, well, I don't want that chemical on my baby, and then it goes to my client. I don't want that. So these pads here don't have that on there. They don't have that. It's just a protection up on a pad. It's just padded, and it's a light padded protection, but it's just protection on a pad. And but I prefer to use them so that um they don't have that chemical in them. But my kits come to me clean. They don't come with no smells or anything like that. You might hear people, well, when they buy these kits from Temu and Amazon, and they got a smell, a chemical smell. Lie. That's a lie. These babies don't come with all of that. These babies don't come with all of that. They're trying to get you not to purchase one of these babies. But just like I said, it's your money. You spend your money the way you spend your money, because they're spending their money the way they spend theirs. So anyway, don't let people tell you how to control what you like. You taking control yourself. Take control yourself. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video, and the next one will be video 5. And in video 5, we will be doing layers of paint. And like I said, we will be doing 3 layers of paint. And I'm going to start with Flesh Tone 5. That's this color, Flesh Tone 5. And in one of my earlier videos, I showed you how I make this, because I make this. I don't buy this, I make it. And I showed in one of the videos, I'm not really sure which one, but I showed how I make this. So I just and then I'll show you the process of how I put it together in video 5. So come back and see, follow me out, follow me to the end, so that you'll know just how to put a baby together. And it takes time. I'm gonna tell you, it takes time, and you can't rush the process. You rush the process, your baby's gonna come out all gooky looking, and you don't want that. um it's a lot of hard work, not hard work, it's just a lot of time consumed in making a baby. And so you want to make sure that your time that you put into making a baby is good time, that your baby's going to come out looking like a baby. And it takes a minute, it takes a minute, I promise you. But anyway, you will get there. I got faith in you. You'll get there. So I'm going to say goodbye. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.